our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, you're not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense.
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter, Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
50 Cent and Eminem are finally linking up to go straight at Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, financially.
And they're not holding back. From claiming the Carters stole from Black creatives to accusing them of buying awards and crushing competition in secret, the gloves are off. 50's putting Jay on blast, saying he's still trying to mess with his business moves.
When you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with Joe.
And M, he's been dropping bars with hidden messages about powerful folks pulling the strings behind the scenes. And Beyoncé, she's getting hit with claims that she's been snatching songwriting credits and low-key blocking other female artists from shining, including names like Aaliyah, Mia, Carrie Hilson, and Mary J. Blige. It's a long list, and it's making people talk.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they harbor, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's artist.
But it doesn't stop there. Now folks are side-eyeing Jay and Bey's close connection with Diddy, especially after that disturbing Jane Doe lawsuit. Jay might have dodged a legal bullet, but now the alleged victim's hinting she was pressured to switch up her story after some sketchy people popped up at her crib. With all these wild allegations swirling, the big question is, are Jay-Z and Beyoncé really untouchable?
This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing, right, with the Super Bowl, because he was doing go ahead. He was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Like, makes no sense.
So I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that I'm talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from.
Or are they just pros at keeping their secrets buried? And do 50 and M really have the inside scoop on the Carters' alleged dark side? Because if the rumors are true, a lot of careers and maybe even lives.
Look, our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, you're not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even, look, a lot of the, even a lot of the competitive stuff, or we would call it beef, right? And it changed, that terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. When before that, they called it battling in our culture. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore. And you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through.
Got wrecked just to protect that empire. Let's get into it. For the longest time, Jay and Bey were treated like royalty in the music world. No one dared to speak out without getting labeled a hater.
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, you know, showed us that we can be rock stars. Seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. All right, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
But now the mask is slipping. More and more insiders are stepping forward. And leading the charge, 50 Cent and Eminem. Starting with 50, he's doubling down on his claims that Jay is insecure, jealous, and straight up petty. And he swears he's got receipts. Remember back in 2023?
Have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
50 said Jay tried to keep him off the Super Bowl stage by using his pull with the NFL, but the plan backfired because Eminem refused to perform unless 50 was part of the lineup. That was a major win. Fast forward to a recent convo on Talk with Flea featuring Cameron, and 50 once again called Jay out for playing dirty. He claims Jay's still out here making sneaky moves, not just in the music game, but in business too. And what's wild, 50 says Jay's already got nothing left to prove.
Watch 50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to.
Yet he's still allegedly trying to block his deals, just out of pure hate. But here's where it gets even messier. 50 and M are now teaming up to expose what they believe is award show manipulation. 50 accused Jay of using his power couple status with Beyoncé to lock in Grammys. Meanwhile, M's been calling out the Grammys for years, saying the whole thing is rigged and favors the highest bidder. Case in point, Beyoncé finally got that elusive Album of the Year win with Cowboy Carter. But not everybody's buying it. Fans think Jay pulled some behind-the-scenes strings.
Consider, joining the board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. Like, it ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. Sound like Lada Dottie.
Especially after he jumped on a stage last year and called out the Recording Academy for constantly snubbing Bey. Problem is, his speech didn't land the way he thought. Folks felt it was rich coming from a guy who's benefited from the same system he was criticizing. So if Jay really thinks the Grammys don't matter, why beg for their approval instead of just walking away? That whole scene had folks scratching their heads, and it only cranked up the rumors that Jay and Bey have been buying influence.
We started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. right? And you go prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association. Like you see that the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, I'll get the...
And pulling strings behind the scenes. For years, people inside the industry have whispered that the Grammys are more about backdoor deals than raw talent. And one of the loudest critics, Eminem. M's been sounding the alarm on the Grammys for years, calling the whole thing fake and rigged. He even swore off attending ever again. But don't get it twisted. M says he doesn't care about losing if the other artist actually had a better album. What really burns him is how the Grammys use his name to boost their ratings, pretending like he has a real shot, just to snub him when the cameras are rolling. When asked if being part of the voting process would change anything, M shut it down quick, saying none of that would matter. According to him, it's all smoke and mirrors.
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at this man, if you look at this man, this guy,
You're gonna let him say that? You're gonna say that?
He had one.
Exactly.
And
he ain't show up.
He's funny now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong.
He's like drinking. It's the cup.
Wait a minute. Damn, you're saying the success is derived from the marriage.
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
And the real decisions happen long before any vote is cast. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's also been going off on the Recording Academy, but he's taking it even further. He didn't just say the system's broken. He flat out claimed Jay-Z's wins have way more to do with his marriage to Beyoncé than his bars. 50 said the Academy only props them up because Jay and Bey showing up.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something.
Boost the show's ratings, so they hand out nominations and awards just to keep them on that red carpet. And 50 didn't stop there. On the Flagrant podcast, he went all in.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest.
sense
One of
that
the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z.
Saying Jay-Z's entire Grammy streak and success is tied to his relationship with Beyoncé. He even called their marriage a straight-up contract, suggesting it's more about power moves than love. But 50's not the only one throwing shade. A bunch of insiders have said Jay and Bey have a history of keeping other artists down just to keep the spotlight on themselves. There's talk that they purposely slowed down the rise of anyone who could have outshined them.
Tell everybody about Big L, Sean.
Big L?
I would just rather do it on the stand, Sean. Please sue me. I want to go to court. And I want to talk about Big L on the stand.
Wow.
was the one that put Jay-Z on. Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive. His death made it possible for Reasonable Doubt to live.
Whoa.
See how good I keep secrets, Sean?
One name that keeps coming up, Beyoncé's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron. Before his sudden passing from pneumonia, he dropped some heavy claims, saying he had evidence the Carters sabotaged careers and destroyed lives to stay on top. And then there's Jaguar Wright, once a background singer for Jay-Z, now one of his loudest critics. She's been spilling all kinds of stories, including serious claims about people close to Jay, like Harlem's own Big L.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
According to Jaguar, Big L either had his career crushed or was taken out altogether to clear the path for Jay's rise. So let's talk about Big L. In the early 90s, he was blowing up in Harlem's underground scene, known for crazy freestyle skills and real street buzz. He got signed to Columbia and dropped a solid debut. But after the label dropped him,
The game is bullshit, man. The game is bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, saying what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap.
he started his own company, and that's when Dame Dash and Rockefeller took notice. Just when his career was about to explode, something tragic happened. Big L was gunned down in a Harlem drive-by on February 15th, 1999. And to this day, no one's been officially held responsible. But if you ask Jaguar Wright, she's got her suspicions. She straight up believes Jay-Z might have had something to do with it. Yeah, she said that. Now let's talk about another legend, DMX. He wasn't scared of Jay either. In fact, DMX was one of the only rappers besides 50 Cent who openly called Jay-Z out for being spiteful and jealous. When Jay stepped in as president of Def Jam in 2004, DMX had already delivered 5 back-to-back #1 albums from 98 to 2003.
I was like, we got to sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, if DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a f. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats. DMX, live at the tunnel. Y'all don't even remember the tunnel. Funk Master was doom. And then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. Dum. The video's flashing, f***ing up your eyes. It caused change. And now there was no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on the wall a triangle with 5. And it was like, they used to clown me. And they used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. So 5. It was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all can get behind me. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the f up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
He was Def Jam's MVP. But when it came time to release his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, DMX claimed Jay purposely delayed it just to make space for his own comeback. And that's not all. In 2005, DMX dropped a track called The Industry, where he exposed all kinds of dirty secrets about the music game. Stuff that's still happening right now. He warned us years ago, but no one wanted to listen. Even Irv Gotti, who was deep in the industry, said Jay used to throw shade at X behind the scenes. Irv claimed Jay and Lyor Cohen used to laugh at DMX and didn't believe he'd ever make it. That jealousy ran deep, and DMX wasn't the only one who felt held back. Beanie Sigel spoke up too. He said it felt like someone was always pulling strings to keep him from leveling up, and all signs pointed to Jay.
I think one man could destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like, why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But
Beanie claimed Jay would time his album drops to compete with Beanie's releases, capping how many records Beanie could sell. Now, Beanie admitted he had his own issues with the law, but he made it clear Jay's shady timing wasn't just a coincidence. And don't think Beyoncé is sitting quietly in the background while all this plays out. Some fans like to say she's just being controlled by Jay, but come on, she's been by his side for decades. If she didn't move the same way, she wouldn't still be there. People are starting to believe they share a common strategy: eliminate anyone who looks like a threat. Let's take it back to Beyoncé's early solo days. When she left Destiny's Child and got with Jay, rumors swirled that Jay pulled producer Rich Harrison away from singer Amiri, whose track One Thing was fire at the time. Folks say Amiri was seen as real competition for Beyoncé, and then out of nowhere,
Where you been, A-Marie?
I've been out in the like the. No, I've
Talk
been.
about your career. Everybody always says A-Marie should have been a superstar. 'Cause she's pretty, she could dance, she could sing. What?
It's,
What do
you know
think?
what it is? It's timing. Like everything is timing. Like I'm a big believer in.
the same sound shows up on Crazy in Love. Coincidence? You decide. Then there's Carrie Hilson. Her fallout with Beyoncé was messy. Carrie's producers allegedly tricked her into recording what sounded like a diss track aimed at Beyoncé, just to tank her career. Carrie tried to deny it was shade, but things got worse when she refused to hold a magazine with Beyoncé and Jay on the cover. That small move sparked a storm. Bey's fans dragged Carrie online and in real life. People were even physically harassing her on the street. Later, whispers started that Beyoncé had orchestrated the whole thing. Some insiders said she set Carrie up from behind the scenes, getting her own team to sabotage Carrie while Beyoncé played the innocent role in public. In a 2020 interview, Carrie kind of confirmed it, saying she was pressured into dropping that track and received scary threats over it. And don't forget about Kalis.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
She came for Beyoncé too, accusing her of using Milkshake in a sample without even giving her a heads up. Kella said she didn't know about it until it was already out and saw it blowing up on social media. She called it out as pure disrespect and said it felt like Beyoncé just snatched it behind her back without credit or consent. I found out like everybody else. That's what Kelly's posted when the drama exploded. She added, "Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they've got everyone fooled." Later, she went deeper on Instagram, explaining why she was truly hurt. Not only are we Black female artists in an industry that barely supports us, we've met. We know each other.
You say so guarded within your career. This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good. Thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed. You will be talked about. You will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me. If I have to sell my soul, I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world. But the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, you know, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success.
We have mutual friends. Kellis made it clear. This wasn't just business, it was personal. It's not that hard to contact me, she said. It's called common decency. But instead of addressing the claims or apologizing, Beyoncé just quietly scrubbed the milkshake sample off the track, like nothing ever happened. No explanation, no acknowledgement. And then there's Mia. Word is, she was blackballed after allegedly turning down Jay-Z's advances. Mia once said that powerful people in the industry often use their influence in dangerous ways, especially when it comes to young artists chasing success, not realizing what they're really giving up. When asked how she stayed out of that mess, Mia simply said she learned to walk away and say no. But that decision came at a cost. Mia hinted that turning certain people down may have led to her being blacklisted and having her name dragged through the mud. So when you look at the full picture, from 50 Cent and Eminem to Kellis, Mia, Beanie Sigel, and more, it's clear a lot of artists believe Jay-Z and Beyoncé might have used their power to control the game and silence the competition. But what do you think? Are these just bitter industry stories, or is there real truth behind all these allegations? Which side are you on? Team Carter or Team Truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the tea. More receipts coming in the next video.